Justin Bieber suddenly went live on Instagram without any warning. There was no fancy setup, no announcement, just him sitting there, looking blank, with some sad lyrics playing in the background. He had no shirt on, looked shaky, and said a few things that caught people off guard. What really shocked viewers was when he said, "I'm sick and tired of hurting you, baby." Fans couldn't tell if he was quoting lyrics or admitting to something real. The timing made everything even more suspicious. Just days before, Selena Gomez had released a song that many believed was directed at Justin. Along with her new track, her sparkling engagement ring and growing relationship with Benny Blanco were all over social media. Suddenly, Justin goes live and appears to be breaking down. People were left wondering if he was upset about Selena, trying to respond to her, or maybe dealing with his own inner battles. Whatever it was, it didn't seem random. It felt personal, like he was reacting to something deep, something he hadn't fully processed. On March 29, 2025, Justin's live stream caught everyone off guard. It wasn't some secret performance or a way to tease new music. It looked more like a breakdown. He appeared worn out, sitting in what looked like a dim basement. His face looked thin and tired, and he wasn't acting like the confident star fans knew. Over 6,000 people were watching, and what they saw felt raw and painful. Not like entertainment, but like someone truly struggling. At first, he mumbled quietly, but soon he started playing some unfinished songs. These weren't clean, edited tracks. They sounded like private recordings full of emotion. The lyrics felt heavy and honest. One line that stood out was, "I'm tired of pretending I'm okay. This isn't peace. It's punishment." That one sentence said a lot, and fans picked it apart, wondering if it was about Selena. People started saving the video, sharing clips, and trying to figure out what was going on. Then Justin said something that really made people stop and think. He admitted that even playing those songs made him anxious. That kind of honesty hit hard. It wasn't just the music that felt emotional, it was everything behind it. And by the time he ended the live stream, his entire expression had changed. He looked tense, like he was holding something in. Later, body language experts even commented on how stressed he appeared, noting that this wasn't just someone putting on a show, it was a real moment of emotional struggle. Social media exploded right after, but it wasn't just people reacting with shock. Many started to dig into the situation, connecting different pieces of the puzzle. Some believed that Justin was responding to Selena's engagement. Others thought he might be dealing with something deeper. Either way, the timing made it impossible to ignore, especially since Selena and Benny had just released a song that fans instantly linked to Justin. The track, "How Does It Feel to Be Forgotten?" didn't hold back. One line said, "You walked in, big grin, talking like we're friends." That single lyric had fans buzzing. The cold tone, the timing, and the clear meaning made people wonder if Selena was drawing a line under her past. Twitter quickly filled with theories. Many fans believed that Selena had finally let go, but Justin's livestream felt like he was being pulled back in. The connection between her new music and his sudden emotional outburst felt too strong to be coincidence. Selena later claimed the song wasn't about anyone in particular, but fans weren't convinced. One person tweeted that the vibe of the song and Justin's reaction looked way too familiar. For a lot of people, Selena's engagement felt like her final goodbye, but Justin's live stream seemed to show that he wasn't ready to say goodbye at all. Then came more theories. People started linking Selena's happy moment with Justin's clear discomfort. When she got engaged in December 2024, many fans felt like she was finally closing the book on that part of her life. The timing made it look like she was showing the world she had moved on completely. And right after that, she released what sounded like a breakup song. It didn't take long for fans to wonder if Justin was having a hard time accepting all of it. A little over a week after Selena's song dropped, Justin posted a meme. On the surface, it looked like a silly joke about women being dramatic after getting engaged, using a scene from Lord of the Rings. But the timing raised eyebrows. Fans connected it directly to Selena's engagement post, especially the viral picture of her ring. To many, it seemed like a dig, another reminder that he might still be watching everything she does. As the pattern continued, his emotional live, the cryptic meme, and the song that everyone was talking about, fans couldn't help but notice how everything seemed to revolve around Selena. One person put it plainly, "This isn't just random. He's reacting to her." It was like every move Justin made kept pointing back to her. The tension, the timing, the emotions, nothing felt accidental. To most people watching, it looked like Selena had found peace while Justin was still stuck in old memories. Whether he realized it or not, every little action was being noticed, and each one added to the growing story fans were building. The more they talked about it, the messier it seemed. This wasn't just a breakup that faded quietly. It was more like emotional leftovers from a relationship that left a lot of scars. Justin and Selena weren't just any couple. For many fans, they were part of their lives growing up. Their romance, their fights, their public moments, it all played out in front of millions. And Justin had been honest before about how hard it was on him. In a 2020 interview, he admitted that his time with Selena left him feeling angry and lost. He even said he wasn't ready to be with anyone else for a long time after they broke up. Selena also spoke about it. In an NPR interview that same year, she described their relationship as emotionally harmful. She said it took a lot of strength to leave and rebuild herself. This wasn't just gossip, it was real healing. She explained that it took her 5 full years to recover. That's not just moving forward, that's rebuilding from scratch. So when Selena sings about someone pretending they've moved on when they haven't, it hits people hard. Fans connect to it not just because they've heard similar stories, but because they watched it unfold. Her personal journey wasn't just hidden in her music, it was shown in her 2022 documentary, My Mind and Me. In it, she described the breakup as the hardest thing she had ever gone through, but also the most important. That mix of heartbreak and growth is what made people support her so strongly. She didn't just step into a new relationship, she showed the world she had healed and put her life back together. And it showed. In a 2025 conversation with Jay Shetty, Selena spoke openly about her past. She admitted that her earlier relationships had left her emotionally unstable and overly reactive. That's why she stepped away from dating for 5 years. She said she wasn't in the right mindset and didn't want to bring past pain into a new relationship. Her words showed how much she had grown. She sounded steady, aware, and honest about her healing journey. This put Justin's situation in a very different light. While Selena seemed settled and happy, Justin looked like he was falling apart. She had clearly done the emotional work, while he seemed to be holding on to old wounds. Online, people couldn't help but notice the contrast. While she was talking about finding a healthy relationship, Justin was sharing emotional songs, posting weird memes, and going through intense ups and downs in front of everyone. It felt like she had let go, but he hadn't. And the world was paying attention. Justin's actions weren't being seen as random anymore. A few days after his emotional live stream, he posted another meme on April 3rd, 2025. It was from Lord of the Rings and read, "Girls on social media when they get engaged." If this post had come out of the blue, maybe it wouldn't have drawn much attention. But in the middle of everything, his live stream, Selena's music, his unpredictable posts, it felt like another sign that he was still holding on to the past. Fans responded quickly. People commented things like, "Why is he doing this now?" And "He clearly needs help." And it wasn't just fans anymore. Experts joined the conversation. A therapist from Manhattan and a surgeon from North Carolina were both quoted in the Daily Mail, expressing concern about Justin's emotional and physical state. His recent appearance, the anxiety he admitted to, and his erratic behavior weren't being brushed off as celebrity drama. People were seriously worried. It also reminded fans of his long list of health struggles. Justin has publicly dealt with Lyme disease, facial paralysis from Ramsay Hunt syndrome, and addiction. So when people saw how fragile he looked, it wasn't easy to ignore. This wasn't just about a celebrity dealing with heartbreak, it felt like a bigger, more serious decline. A global icon who had spent his whole life in front of cameras now seemed to be breaking down under that same pressure. Even so, his PR team tried to downplay the concerns. They told Radar Online that Justin was fine, focused on family life with Haley and their baby Jack, and working on new music. But fans didn't buy it. That statement sounded polished and completely opposite from what people had just seen during his live stream. One minute, Justin was clearly emotional online. The next, his team claimed everything was great. It didn't add up, and people started to think it was just a way to cover things up. Instead of calming everyone down, the statement made things worse. It made fans more convinced that something was going on behind the scenes, something they weren't being told. And sitting at the center of it all was the announcement of Selena and Benny Blanco's engagement back in December 2024. What should have been a happy milestone turned into a moment filled with tension. Not only had Selena moved on, but she got engaged to someone Justin once called a close friend. That part made it hurt more. It wasn't just losing an ex. It felt like losing a brother, too. Benny wasn't just another guy. He and Justin had worked together on music, had supported each other personally, and had been through a lot as friends. So when Benny appeared next to Selena, not just dating her, but getting engaged, it hit like a punch. People close to Justin said he didn't get mad at first. He just went quiet. And that silence felt louder than anything else. What made it harder was that Benny knew everything. He had seen Justin struggle. He knew the pain behind the scenes. And now, he was the one standing beside Selena. That didn't just sting. It felt like betrayal. Justin couldn't just scroll past that kind of news. His reaction, unfollowing Benny on social media, said everything. It wasn't just about clicking a button, it was symbolic. That friendship, at least for now, was done. Justin's mood began to shift after that. Friends said he wasn't the same. He was more irritable, distant, and clearly not himself. People close to him described a mix of sadness and confusion. He wasn't just hurting because Selena had moved on. He was also watching someone he once trusted take the place he used to hold. For fans, the unfollow on Instagram was confirmation of everything they'd been guessing. This wasn't just another celebrity moment. It was deeply personal. Meanwhile, Selena looked like she was thriving. She was in love, focused, and steady. Benny was stepping into his role confidently, and their relationship seemed strong. Justin, on the other hand, appeared to be going in the opposite direction. Behind the smile, there was clear sadness. Sources said he wasn't sleeping well, his moods were swinging wildly, and that manic energy had returned. People close to him believed it all went back to the engagement. One insider summed it up. It hurt, not because he wanted to stop her from being happy, but because her happiness marked the end of something he had never fully let go of. It wasn't just a new chapter for her, it was the final page of a book he wasn't ready to close. For over a decade, the world had tied Justin's name to Selena. They weren't just another celebrity couple, they were the love story everyone watched unfold in real time. Now, Selena was clearly done with that part of her life, but Justin seemed trapped in it. Her peace only made his pain stand out more. So when fans saw his live stream, the emotional songs, the strange memes, they didn't see them as separate things. They saw them as his way of reacting to everything Selena had become. And the posts kept coming. Whether it was a moody selfie paired with lyrics that sounded like heartbreak, or a meme shared at just the right moment, it started to feel too timed to be accidental. Fans saw a pattern. Justin looked like he was trying to keep things together behind closed doors, while slowly unraveling in public. The gap between their lives had never been so obvious. Selena had reached a point of calm. Justin was still searching for it. This wasn't just some celebrity breakup story being dragged out for drama. It felt more like real emotional pain, playing out in front of millions. And Justin's grief wasn't just about Selena. It was also about the constant pressure from fans and media who never really let their past die. The name Jelena still held power online. Every time Justin did something emotional, people linked it back to her. Whether that was his intention or not, it was taking a toll. Even when he tried to move forward, people kept dragging him back. The comparisons were constant. The reminders never stopped. That's what made this different. Justin wasn't just reacting to an ex. He was reacting to a story that refused to end. The situation between Justin Bieber, Selena Gomez, and Hailey Bieber stopped being about just 3 people a long time ago. What started as a complicated love triangle slowly turned into a never-ending internet obsession. Even though Selena had clearly moved on and was now engaged to someone else, many fans and media outlets refused to let the past rest. The result? A flood of emotional chaos, mostly crashing down on Justin and dragging Hailey into it too. Selena's fans, Justin's supporters, and the media all played a role in keeping this old chapter wide open. Instead of seeing it as a closed book, they turned it into a revolving door. Justin wasn't just hurting in private, he was forced to experience his lowest emotional points in front of millions. And there was no pause button, no way to heal quietly. The pressure didn't ease up. It built up. People quickly split into 2 camps. Some were deeply concerned. These were fans who had grown up with Justin, watched his ups and downs, and cared about more than just the music. When he broke down during that Instagram live stream, they didn't see it as content. They saw it as a cry for help. Comments like, "This isn't entertainment," and "He's not okay," flooded in. For them, Justin's pain was real, and it mattered. But the other side of the internet wasn't so kind. Some users mocked him, calling his breakdown dramatic or childish. "It's been nearly a decade. Why is he still acting like this?" one tweet asked. Memes came flying in. Some even joked that Justin's baby would say Selena before Mama or Dada. The ridicule hit hard. And worse, it didn't stay online. The mockery made its way into real-life conversations, gossip blogs, and podcasts. What should have been a personal moment became public property. The story then shifted. Now it wasn't just about Justin's pain, but about Hailey's position in it all. People began asking, where is Hailey in all this? Was she seeing the same videos, reading the same fan theories, dealing with the same emotional drain that the public was watching unfold? And as expected, people didn't stop at questions. They began analyzing her every move. Her social media became a puzzle people tried to solve. If she didn't post, people assumed she was avoiding something. If she did post and didn't mention Justin, they said she was distancing herself. If she looked tired in a photo, people called her unhappy. In no time, Hailey wasn't just a bystander. She became part of the drama, whether she liked it or not. The jokes got more ruthless. People captioned her photos with comments like, "This poor woman has to compete with a ghost." Others accused her of living in Selena's shadow. "Imagine being married to someone who's emotionally stuck in 2016, one user wrote. And that's when it started to look like Justin and Hailey's marriage wasn't just under strain, it was being publicly picked apart. Then a small, seemingly meaningless action blew up. Hailey briefly unfollowed Justin on Instagram before following him again a few hours later. Some called it a glitch. Others saw it as a digital sign of frustration. Whether or not it meant anything didn't really matter. It gave people something to talk about, and they ran with it. Behind the scenes, sources began leaking that Hailey was exhausted. She felt emotionally drained, stuck in a cycle of trying to be supportive while also watching her husband struggle to move forward. And just as that wave of concern started building, another rumor surfaced. Justin was thinking of leaving the United States altogether. Maybe it was to escape the noise, or maybe it wasn't true at all. But once the rumor hit the internet, it didn't need proof. People believed it because they wanted to believe it. And then came the comparisons. Again, Selena was the success story. Calm, mature, healed. Hailey was stuck in a marriage that looked more like damage control than partnership. The emotional weight of being compared to someone's ex on such a massive scale became more obvious. And this wasn't new for Hailey. She had addressed it before. Back in 2022, she did a podcast where she tried to set the record straight. She said clearly, "I was never with him while he was with her." She added that Selena didn't owe her anything, and that she respected her. But those words didn't do much. Once the internet creates a story, it rarely lets the truth rewrite it. For many fans, Hailey was always going to be the girl after Selena. And that label came with non-stop hate, rumors, and public judgment. As Selena moved on and got engaged to Benny Blanco, someone who used to be close to Justin, the internet started painting Hailey as the villain in a love story that ended years ago. It didn't matter how much time had passed. It didn't matter that Selena herself had found happiness elsewhere. Hailey was stuck in a narrative she couldn't control. Even though Selena had repeatedly asked fans to stop attacking Hailey, the damage had already been done. The internet wasn't interested in forgiveness or maturity. It wanted drama, someone to blame, someone to hurt. And because Hailey was married to Justin, she was the easiest target. Now, with Justin clearly going through something and Selena in a healthy relationship, the roles were almost set in stone. Selena was the winner. Justin was the heartbroken ex. And Hailey? She was caught in the crossfire, accused of being the reason he couldn't heal. The saddest part in all of this is how public pain became public property. The emotions were real, but the internet turned them into entertainment. Justin didn't get a chance to grieve in private. Hailey didn't get a chance to exist outside the ghost of Selena. And Selena, despite doing nothing to fuel the drama, kept being pulled back into a love story she had long left behind. Even when Hailey Baldwin Bieber stayed quiet, the online attacks didn't let up. Silence wasn't protection. It became ammunition. Every small thing she did was picked apart, judged, and turned into evidence of something deeper. If she liked a video on TikTok, people claimed it was passive-aggressive. If she looked serious at an event, it was called a cry for help or proof of relationship issues. Even harmless memes were twisted into jabs at Selena Gomez. Her team eventually had to step in and release a public statement saying she hadn't liked any so-called shady posts, and that the screenshots circulating online were false or edited. But by that point, it didn't matter. The internet had made up its mind. And in its version of the story, Hailey was no longer just a wife. She was cast as the villain. Then things escalated. A viral docuseries on TikTok started making rounds. It claimed Hailey had been plotting for over a decade to marry Justin Bieber. It didn't show her as someone who fell in love. It portrayed her as someone who manipulated her way into his life, step by step. The internet began looking for signs. Old videos from 2009 surfaced, where a teenage Hailey met Justin backstage. People said it wasn't an innocent moment. It was the beginning of a plan. Some claimed her dad, actor Stephen Baldwin, arranged the meeting. Others said Hailey spent years tracking Justin, following his tour schedule, booking hotel rooms near him, and even showing up at the same restaurants. None of it was confirmed, but that didn't slow things down. The more dramatic the theory, the faster it went viral. Then came the most explosive theory, that Hailey had copied nearly every aspect of Selena's life. People made side-by-side videos comparing their tattoos, outfits, even their cooking shows. Hailey launched her show, Who's in My Kitchen?, after Selena plus Chef had already aired, and that was enough for some fans to claim she was trying to copy her. The internet was full of creepy edits with eerie music and slow zooms, turning coincidences into conspiracy. No one stopped to ask if it was just two women in the same age group living in the same pop culture bubble. The goal wasn't the truth, it was drama. And so, Hailey was no longer just a wife, or even a public figure. In this made-up narrative, she was the mastermind, the person who engineered the end of Justin and Selena's relationship, the one who saw a famous teen heartthrob and made a long-term plan to be with him, no matter what. A fantasy built on selective clips, blurry images, and years-old gossip turned into fact by sheer repetition. As the docuseries gained millions of views, things got worse. Fans dug through old interviews, red carpet footage, and Instagram posts, treating everything like a crime scene. Every smile was suspicious, every quiet glance was seen as part of a strategy. There was even a theory that Hailey had something to do with Selena's 2014 trip to Dubai with Kendall Jenner and Gigi Hadid, alleging it was meant to keep Selena away from Justin during the holidays. Again, no proof. But in the world of online storytelling, proof was never required. People also pointed at the speed of Hailey and Justin's 2018 engagement. It came just months after he and Selena officially ended things. Some fans believed this was Hailey's big final move, the endgame of a decade-long pursuit. They painted it like a chess match, with Hailey always 10 steps ahead. To believe that version of events, you had to ignore everything else, like Hailey's own background, her friendships, her career, and most of all, her humanity. She wasn't seen as a person anymore. She was just a character in a plot that the internet couldn't stop watching. Even when she tried to stay calm and clear things up, she wasn't heard. In 2022, she spoke out in interviews, asking for peace and respect. She explained that she never dated Justin while he was with Selena. She acknowledged the hurt fans felt, but made it clear she was not part of any love triangle. She even said she respected Selena and meant it, but those words barely registered. Once the public locks into a story, it takes a lot to change their minds, and Hailey didn't stand a chance. By this point, she had become a shadow. Once seen smiling next to Justin at red carpets and on magazine covers, Hailey now appeared in viral videos as the cold outsider, the one fans wanted to remove from the picture entirely. Her every move became content. Her name became clickbait. It wasn't fandom anymore. It was something darker. A fiction that people mistook for truth, built on fragments of real life and polished with social media drama. Now, in 2025, it's painfully clear that this was never just about 3 people. It became a cultural moment, a public obsession that blurred the lines between real emotions and imagined plots. Justin's breakdowns, Selena's silence, Hailey's reactions, they were all fed into the machine. And that machine doesn't care about feelings. It only wants attention. Every live stream, song lyric, and Instagram post gets picked apart, and the same question keeps coming back. Who really won? Was it Selena, who seems at peace and is now engaged to someone unexpected? Producer Benny Blanco? Was it Hailey, who got the wedding ring but not the public's acceptance? Was it Justin, who said he found stability but still looks like he's carrying emotional weight? Or was it no one? Because maybe the cost of being loved by millions is that you never get to truly leave your past behind. That's what makes this story more than just celebrity gossip. It's about what happens when the past refuses to stay in the past. When closure is never given because the world won't let you have it. Justin's public pain reminded people of something familiar, of old relationships that still linger, of feelings that never really disappeared. That's why his tears hit people hard. Not because they love drama, but because they understood it. Most people have been there, hearing a name and suddenly feeling something in your chest, smiling on the outside while falling apart on the inside, wondering if healing is real or just a myth people repeat to feel better. That's why the story of Justin, Selena, and Hailey still lives on, because it reflects pieces of so many people's stories. The parts we haven't gotten over, the chapters we didn't finish. This was never just about who followed who unfollowed first, or who posted what. It was about love, loss, and memory. About Justin, the pop star who never quite outran his feelings. About Selena, who walked away quietly but kept being dragged back in. And about Hailey, who stepped into a marriage not knowing that the shadow of someone else's heartbreak would follow her everywhere. This wasn't just another celebrity feud. It was an emotional weight, the kind of pain that gets dressed up in memes and headlines but still cuts deep. And maybe in the end, people aren't still obsessed with Jelena because it was dramatic, but because it mirrors something in their own lives they haven't let go of yet.